days, overwhelmed, trapped in a maze. Small business owner, stress had me in a daze. Every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling sad, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. With the support of our success group, we're taking flight with our words strong. The vision so clear, building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force with our success group. Community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling sad, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights. And with the support of our success group, we're taking flight with our words strong. The vision so clear, building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force with our success group.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rising Tide Talks. I am Kylie Montgomery, and I encourage transformation with positive energy.
I am Becky Kutzer, and I believe that it takes a village to run a business.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and we are here to see if we can all fall deeper in love with what we get to do each day as business owners and just people out in the world, right? So excited to be here, and I've got Kylene and Becky and Aaron. Barb says hello to us. So that is fantastic. Thanks for being here. And I'm dancing, y'all. Are you?
Yes.
I was. So I'm standing and I was dancing. So you guys
listening to it and seeing the pictures just takes me right back there.
Yes. I always get a smile on my face.
Yep. That's right. And then Craig says, hello from Boston, still at the full-time job, printing away. So far, half day started at 5 a.m. It's an interesting half day. And then, we got Barb checking in and Chuck here. So appreciate you guys all being along with us today. Excited to continue our conversation. We talked a little bit last week about what, in the Entrepreneur Success Hub, we've got some just wrapped up, actually. I think tomorrow will be the last post of the series, but there were 10 posts about things potentially holding us back. If we basically put into ChatGPT, if we were responsible for keeping you from your idea of success, what would be the top 10 ways we would do that? And I thought that would be a good exercise for us to engage on, to talk about, because when we talk about, okay, well, what's the opposite of that then, right? If one of the things that we're going to talk about today is surrounding you with negativity, negative influences. Okay, well, how do we overcome that? And so I thought posting in the group there and asking people to share their thoughts would give us all more perspective. Now, we have a whole lot of people take us up on the opportunity to post your thoughts. So go back in there and do that. But I'm excited about talking about that today, you guys. And I know that's not where we start, but I had to get that out there. So, Kylene, speaking of where we start, how should we start this off?
All right. We're going to start with gratitude. So gratitude, obviously, it's been something we've talked about a lot this week. We had the launch party for the gratitude shift. Yay. On Monday. And I'm going to start with what I'm grateful for as I'm introducing gratitude again, but just so grateful for everyone that showed up and shared. I think everyone that joined us shared something throughout the evening. It was a couple hours. People were in and out, and it was perfect. And I'm just really grateful that everyone can use gratitude in a different way, and it looks different for all of us. But yet, at the core, it brings our vibration up. It brings more positive energy, and it allows us to get through difficult moments a little bit easier, right? But it also really, we appreciate the journey we're on too, by recognizing all those small moments. So if you guys are listening, please share what you're grateful for today. We'd love to bring more positive energy to all of us here tonight. Becky, Aaron, who's up first for sharing what you're grateful for today?
Rock,
Beck-
paper, scissors. Just kidding.
Go ahead, Becky. Yeah.
Well, I sure can. I am grateful for a friend in MOS, and I'm not going to call her out here today, but I do want to just say that she made my day. I just had a message from her not that long ago, and she was just checking on me and telling me a little bit about her day and whatever. And it just truly, she just said, and more importantly, how are you? And it was very, very nice, and it just warmed my heart and just made my day. So I want to say thank you, and I'm very grateful for her. So
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. What an amazing community. In fact, we may talk a little bit later about something that I brought up in there just to kind of see how we take all that. But the conversations and the support that we have inside of Masters of Success is just mind boggling to me. I think I said, I'm not sure I used that word exactly, but that's, that brain blown by just how amazing the group is. So that is awesome to hear, Becky. Yeah, a couple things. I'm gonna do two because I couldn't pick just one. First off, I'm just really grateful for all of the people that did show up to the launch party. Even though, in Becky's case, she was super busy and she just made it work. And man, that meant so much to us, Becky. Thank you so much for being there, sharing your thoughts on gratitude. And so all the people that are in the book and kind of shared their story, I think it made it feel even deeper and more meaningful for me. And so I can't wait to get it in front of more people. So that's one. And then two, also around the launch party, but our neighbor Stephanie was there with us. She was actually there for the entire 2 hours. I've not actually met her in person. Kylene has. She's been to Kylene's yoga. But she just really embodied what kind of our thought was on gratitude, right? She shared that gratitude can be used to get through pain and suffering, and she says you have to walk through that pain. She had lost someone and lost her daughter, and she used gratitude to get through that event in her life. And I was just really grateful to get to know her a little bit more. I know she doesn't live too terribly far from us, but I've never had the chance to actually meet her. I haven't. I guess you ran into her walking out on the path, right?
Yeah, she walks in front of our house like every day with her dog.
Well, I just need to get out of the house then. That would help, huh? Get out of the basement here. I'd be better off. Okay.
Out of the dungeon, Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
You probably should unlock the door, Kylene.
I know, that's true. There is a little doggy door for him.
Yeah, that's where they just throw the food down at me when I get hungry. All right. So Chandler shared, I'm grateful for my mentors and this group being there for me. And Chandler says, "Oh, I bet I know who that is, and it's not me." I actually thought it was Chandler. Actually,
it was not Chandler.
Okay, all right. Well, she's pretty amazing too. But
she is.
All right. Craig says, grateful for the techs that know how to get me up and running. Absolutely. It's great to have smart people around that can figure that stuff out. I know, Becky, you've utilized some folks in your world not too distant future.
But I actually have one coming again tonight because my laser printer that prints my invoices is not talking to my computer.
Okay. So all right. Chuck says, I'm grateful for the weather we've been having here in Florida. Spring is around the corner. It's great.
I agree. It was beautiful here, and I saw geese flying north. So
there you go.
That made me happy today.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Even though I think we have snow and rain and freezing rain and all the things this weekend.
You're at the end of it, though.
I know. It just it has to always have one last hurrah.
Yeah. Like, oh, you thought I was done?
Yeah.
Hold my beer, right? Is that?
Yep, pretty much. Thanks, Mother Nature.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Well, you guys keep popping your gratitude in there. We love sharing that, and yeah, flying north is a good sign, Chuck says. So
Yep.
that's absolutely. Yeah, if it does feel like spring's around the corner, right? You never know if there's going to be another hit. Sounds like you guys are getting one. I don't think, are we getting one, Kylie? And I
We're
don't
just
get out of
getting
my basement.
severe weather on Friday night.
Okay. All right. Well,
I would prefer that, but I believe it's freezing rain and snow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, here's the deal. There's always better weather somewhere else, right?
I know.
Craig says shorts weather in New England, so that's a good sign.
Well, yeah, here right now too, but
Yeah.
tomorrow and Friday might be a different story when we drop back down in the
Yeah, you just never know.
single digits or wherever we're going. I don't know. I didn't look that closely. So,
all right. Well, let's get into the discussion here, you guys. You guys ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't I start here? I'm going to share the 10 things because they're all in the Entrepreneur Success Hub. So if you want to go back and dig into that a little bit more, heck, go in there and reply, put your thoughts in there, see what other people are saying. And I've made sure that I've commented on every single one, I'm pretty sure. So if I missed any, please tag me. But I did go and count. I can count to 10. I got all the fingers and I thought. So, and these again, ask ChatGPT, if you were responsible for keeping me from my idea of success, what are the top 10 things that you would do? And so these are the top 10 things. Number 10, keep you comfortable. Number 9, attack your identity. Number 8, keep you overthinking. Number 7, make you see failures as the end. Number 6, distract you with instant gratification. And I think most of those were in the group last week, and I think we covered a few of those last week. So if you didn't catch last week's Rising Tide Talks, please go back and watch it. There was some great stuff in there. We had some great conversations about that. All right. Number 5 is to make you compare yourself to others. Number 4 is to surround you with negative people or negative energy. Number 3 is to push perfectionism on you. Number 2 is encourage procrastination. And the number 1 way that they would keep you from your idea of success is to make you doubt yourself, that inner critic. So obviously lots to talk about in there. But when we talked before the show, we thought, number 4 would be a really good place to kind of hone in on tonight. So if you guys want to talk about any of the others, please let us know. But we're going to focus most of our energy here tonight on that surrounding yourself with negative people, negative energy. And I think the real important point is what to do instead, right? Mm-hmm. How to overcome that, I think, right? So is that where you guys want to head?
Sounds good. Yeah. I think it'd be perfect.
All right. Well, whoever wants to start there, what when you hear that, when you think about that, right? Do you have experiences? Do you have how does that occur? Right. I don't think anybody wants to be around negativity. Sometimes it just happens, but maybe we don't notice it. Right. So maybe that's where to start. What are your guys' thoughts there?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like, we all know, I guess I'll kind of start here. Like we all know when you have a conversation with someone and when you walk away, you're like, oh, like everything from you is just gone. It just drained all that energy. Even like the whole like room of a vibe or a group of people, it doesn't necessarily have to be just one person.
Yeah.
And in the moment you do your best to kind of work through it. Right. But then as soon as you remove yourself from it, it's exhausting. I know this firsthand, and I left my career at the VA the first time because of it. And I am finding myself gradually getting back into that space, and it's creating that internal conflict right now. I know it's happening, and I'm trying to be more aware of it because I am truly drained. after some environment and interactions with others where I'm at. So,
All right. Well, we'll get into how you're working on overcoming that
yeah,
and
I will.
whatnot. And I'm just glad that you said the thing about your career. I really thought you were going to say me, so that was no, I'm kidding. I'm working on it. All right, Becky, what about you? What shows up when you're thinking about that?
Well, and I agree with Kylene. It's one of those things where if you're in a conversation, it may not actually hit you right away on how negative it's feeling until you would walk away and you can just feel your energy zapped, or you get in the car, or you get in the house, or you get wherever, and you're just like, why am I exhausted?
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to that energy just really does take so much out of you. And, like I said, it's hard. I mean, when people are negative, you know, it's hard to get them to see the positive.
Yeah.
You can say things, you can turn it around, and there's the ones that they just don't want to. They're going to have something, they're going to have an answer no matter what you say. And those are tough situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Some people they're choosing to stay in that place, and we get to choose
To not to.
there you go. That's it. Yeah, and I think one thing to kind of be aware of. Yeah, Chandler says negative people make my stomach turn like I'm in the principal's office. Absolutely.
How many times were you in the principal's office, Chandler?
Yeah.
what experience do you have.
Chandler says, Kylene, thank you for sharing. I feel like I'm in the same spot myself in a way. Yeah, and so I think the other thing that's showing up for me in this is sometimes we're even a part of it without knowing it, right? Like it is at least this is true for me. Still to this day, I find myself going, oh, hold on a second. You're going back into that cycle, and maybe even I'm the source of the negativity, right? Because we are really good at picking out the things that are wrong, the negatives, right? It's a safety mechanism that allows us to be safe and see the danger coming, and so we can point that out really easily. And that, I don't know, commiserating is what shows up, right? Is you have this, like, you get together and the weather's terrible, let's commiserate about that. It kind of brings you together as a tribe, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to flip that switch and go, well, yeah, it might be snowing outside and I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it and I'd love to get outside, but I know the snow's going to melt and it's going to make the grass green, and we needed the moisture. And boy, sometimes that big heavy snow can be peaceful, and I enjoy getting out and playing it every once in a while, and I can exercise by, right? So you can come up with the positives, but it's a little bit of a deeper dig than this sucks, I'm tired of it, right? Yeah, that kind of thing. So I guess that's where we have to be aware. And I know for me it starts in here, because I can be very quick to get back into that old habit. And it's just, I think in a way, sometimes we grew up with that a little bit, right? Chandler talks about the principal's office, right? That was a negative connotation. I love my dad to death, and he's working really hard on it. And I know what world he came from, right? So, our parents or the parents before them dealing with like the Great Depression and some of the challenges that people have been through, that stuff gets pushed down from generation to generation. Whether we were there or not, there's some of that just is the way it was. Like, I was, I guess when we were up at Thanksgiving at your mom's place, Kylene, we were talking about the fact that, at my dad's parents' house, when we were at the dinner table eating, you were not to talk, right? And once all the plates were cleared off, then it became party talk, play cards, do all that stuff. But while we were eating, you didn't say a word, right? And so
Just the kids or everybody?
Everybody, for the most part. I mean, it wasn't like it was like a library quiet, but there was no conversation going on. It was, pass me this, does that taste okay? That kind of thing. But none of like, the conversation while they're eating. And so it was like, and I, even to this day, when I've got food in front of me, I'm like, shovel, shovel, shovel. I don't talk. I'm normally the last or the first one done, and then that kind of thing. So, anyhow, not that necessarily is negative, but that just didn't feel that positive and uplifting, right? And so but my grandparents were awesome. They were nice people and they were friendly and all that kind of stuff. But there was this negativity. The sky always seemed to be falling, and that was easier for them to pick out than the good things in their lives. So,
Yep.
yeah. Now, I guess for you guys that are tuned in here live, or maybe you're in the chat and you're commenting after the fact, right? How do you see this showing up in your world? Like, where are you seeing this? Maybe Kylie and Becky, where are some other places where you might find some negativity and challenges that maybe we need to be more aware of?
Okay. Oh,
Go ahead if you have something. I have another comment, but it kind of takes us on a different route. So,
okay. All right.
Nope.
Yep.
save that. I was just thinking, your social media consumption, the news that you watch, the things you listen to, if you listen to the radio, like all these other sources of conversation that you take in. Man, you don't realize it's impacting you until you hear yourself talking sometimes. That's how I catch myself when I'm starting to talk about different problems, which I have no control over. And then getting myself kind of worked up, and I'm like, well, why am I letting this take that energy from me? Right.
Yeah.
So that's definitely some areas that that can steal your energy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, when it comes to social media, like I've just kind of decided blanket for me that, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. If there's anything political that you post on Facebook, you get snoozed for 30 days. I'm sorry. and I get it, right? Like people want to make their points and they feel strongly about it, and they're not doing it in a negative way. But I don't think posting on social media is going to be the way to have a intelligent conversation. I'm not sure people have that ability right now with the political realm to have intelligent conversations about their differences, but I certainly don't think that it's going to start on Facebook.
Right.
I don't think anybody's going to read that and go, that's totally opposed to that person's side, and they're going to read it and go, oh my gosh, I just changed my mind.
Right.
All right, let's talk about it. No, they want to fire right back, and it just makes. So anyhow, I've snoozed people that some people that I normally wouldn't snooze. Right, it just happened. Right, and so anyhow, I think making those kinds of things, where you're kind of interacting. The news is another place, right? When you are trying to put out content for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you very quickly get away from reporting the news and get into a lot of opinions really quickly. And again, it doesn't matter. I don't look at either side of the aisle. So, if you want to have a political conversation with me where we're talking about differences and we do it, in a face-to-face kind of I'm totally down for that. I think everybody's opinion is important, and I love hearing other perspectives. It's just somebody's opinion on the news or some shared post on social media. That's not for me. So.
Yeah.
My little rant there. Sorry.
We were letting you go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right. Becky, where's your thought taking you here?
No. My thought back to we were talking about for ourselves, for how we feel it and different things like that. Listening to the list, the top 10 that you were talking about, it's so easily how many of those can bring us into that negative side, and how we can let those things bring us into that negative side. So I have not commented. I have not been in the group very active the last week or so. And we'll need to get back in there. Facebook's just kind of been one of those things that I've been trying to turn off because I've been reading more books because I can't stand the social media. And then I catch myself doing a reel or something. I'm like, why do I care what these people are doing? And then I go back to my book.
Yeah, I get it. I get
it. But so I did, just listening, I did not try to write down the top 10, but it was, just listening to them, you could feel them. and every one of those would be things that would definitely bring you into a negative state. And I just, look to go see the conversation of what can be had about how we can change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because it so easily you can be drawn to it, and sometimes you don't realize it's quite happening until the people around you might call you out. I'm fortunate to have really good people around me that have said, "Hey, what's going on?" And so if you don't have that, you can just tell like things change in your life, right? The joy you have for certain things might not feel the same, right? The energy level you have, the um, your your irritability might increase. Like all of these negative things can happen, and that's your body telling you, "Hey, let's check this out. What's happening?"
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Chandler says I vote for Batman. Um, what about Superman, Chandler? We could have that whole debate, right?
Wonder Woman, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to choose from. I'd probably
Okay.
vote for Wonder Woman. We definitely need some better energy. All right. So we've talked about kind of how this occurs. I think the big thing for me was definitely kind of understanding the role that we play in it, right? Because I think a big part of this list of 10 things is I think these 10 things are going to show up in our lives when we're passive. I think that's what's going to happen, especially for business owners where you've got a little bit of extra stress, you've got some overwhelm happening, some things like that, right? I think we're ripe for these things to show up in our world, and it gets worse when we're passive. So, uh-oh, we may have gotten ourselves in trouble there. I need to rethink my friendships. I love it, Chandler. Anyways, sorry, I'm totally off track. So, right, and I think so. The next phase of this is okay. Well, what can we do about it, right? We've talked about a couple of things already a little bit. Like my favorite tool is the snooze button on social media. But what are some other ways that when you guys catch yourself either in that conversation or maybe even being part of that conversation, what are some techniques that you guys have utilized to kind of flip the switch, so to speak?
You can go ahead, Becky, if you want.
Um, mine is really trying to take in the gratitude and the positive spin on whatever's being said.
Mm.
You know, if you hear I hate this or I hate that, or I just trying to come up with the negative side of it and then
Yeah.
take and flip it and try to get them to at least see the other side. Like, not, not to throw my mom under the bus, so hopefully nobody in my family sees this, but I mean, to just say, I mean, for her to look out her window and say, "Oh, I just hate my garden," or this or that. I mean, she used to love her garden, so it's to say, okay, well, if you just don't like that part of it, then what can we change? And that's kind of what I said. It's just like, well, I'm not going to do pole beans. Okay, don't do pole beans. What do you want to do instead? What can you do? What would be better? What would make it better? That kind of thing. So just, not that was totally negative or anything like that, but just like, that's just one of those things that you hear them say, and it's negative,
Yeah.
and why are we already worried about it? We're already dreading the next 3 months. So let's change something. Let's fix how we're not going to dread the next 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
Looking for solutions. Yeah, for sure. I think is a great idea, Becky. Yeah, I'll share because you said you didn't want to call your mom out. It's a pretty. I'll call my dad out because I already have. But so the text this morning from him was beautiful day today. So spent the morning hauling trash to the curb. Special pickup to get the old TV. About killed this old man carrying the TV out there. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm like, okay. So there's the negativity sandwiched in the middle of this. And I said, well, sounds like some good exercise for you, Dad. Love you. Just find that solution, right? So, yeah. Eileen, what about you? What are some thoughts for you there?
Well, just like what Becky said, just redirecting the conversation if you can. And if it's just getting to a point, leaving the conversation,
Change the subject.
Oh,
Yeah. Just redirect it into something positive, or sometimes you'll know. I mean, we all are pretty socially aware sometimes. At least I think I am sometimes. Still awkward, um, but when you're in a conversation and you're trying to redirect, you're trying to bring more positive energy, you can tell if it's being received or not. And when it's just not being received, or conversation really isn't changing, I guess you know that maybe this isn't like the place or the time that you would spend with those people, right? Or you limit your interactions or topics you talk about. Um, but the other thing is, lean into the people that are really there for you, lifting you up. We all have them. I have the MOS group, I have Aaron, I have my family, leaning into them, and spending more time with them is going to naturally just bring that energy back to you. And then you can make better choices as far as controlling some of those conversations or topics that you're a part of in a
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yeah. That's really good. I'm curious for you guys that are tuned in live right now, or if you're catching the replay of this, put it in the comments as well. What are some of the things that you do to kind of make sure that you're maintaining a positive environment around you and
Yeah.
reducing the negativity? So I might piggyback a little bit on what you were saying, Kylene, because I think sometimes we think, okay, I've got to cut out, right? Like I know when I first really had the deep realization that my relationship with my dad, I love him to death. He's my best friend, but I was going, man, this negativity, I can't do it, right? And so I was just worried to death about, oh my gosh, I got to have this conversation with him. He's going to be upset. I'm going to have to cut him off, kind of thing. And I just didn't want to do that. But what I realized and what I learned was, um, it's it really, I just needed to start modeling it, right? Like Becky, you just talked about, right? Just, okay, what's the solution? Almost in a way ignoring the negativity.
Right.
And you're not ignoring it, but you're just choosing not to keep it going.
Engage. Yep.
Yeah, engage. That's perfect. That's exactly what it meant to say.
Yeah.
So with that, right? And then the other side of it is what Kylene was just talking about is we don't have to go out there and just start cutting off all the branches, so to speak, and pruning. I think those that aren't ready to come into your new positive space are going to fall off naturally, right? So I think for us, it's really about going out and being intentional about surrounding yourself with the right kinds of people, the right kinds of, right? Because I hear all the time people are saying, how much they dislike, certain things on social media. And I get it, right? Like I do too in certain ways, but I actually look forward to heading over to Facebook because I'm specifically engaged in certain conversations with certain people. If something shows up that feels like it's negative, it gets snoozed. And yeah, it took some work and it took some intentionality. But at the end of the day, I don't have any challenges with Facebook personally. I'd love to, continue to grow the community that we've got over there in Entrepreneur Success Hub, for example. So I think a lot of it is not necessarily so much worrying about cutting off the negativity and really being more intentional about creating your own not intentional, positive spaces, positive people, positive relationships. Like,
Yeah.
like you meet Becky, right away, she's a positive person. So reach out to her, you build a relationship. She's easy to get in touch with, right? Like that type of thing. You can kind of sense it right away.
Yeah.
So.
The other thing is for us personally to really take care of ourselves. So when you are put in that situation, you're more able to handle it and respond in a way that's going to allow you or allow your energy to not be completely zapped, right? So when you like doing yoga for me just fills me up, it recenters me, it calms my mind for a little bit. And therefore, I'm able to go into some of these more stressful situations with a better outlook and am better prepared to respond in a way that is going to give me a better outcome. So I would say take care of your wellness, and that's all of you, you know, all the different areas of your life. But if you're caught in the moment, and if you can walk away, change the environment, just change that setting somehow to just kind of reset for a moment.
Yeah. Love it.
Yep, I agree. The other thing I would say is our the EFT tapping.
Yep.
There is a negative to clear negativity or stuff from negative people. I can't exactly remember the title of the one. I've used that one after a stressful situation, a negative situation, just to clear the energy and start over. So
Yep.
that works too.
Very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are definitely a lot more in tune to the tapping side of things. But I think I remember at one point in something that Jack Canfield was sharing that literally just tapping on the karate chop point for a certain, I think it was 30 plus some odd times,
Yep.
will release negative energy.
Yep.
Is that okay?
That's true. Yep.
Okay. So, and that's really just literally this, you take fingers, you just tap on the side of your hand for 34 some odd times.
Gently. It doesn't have to be hard. I can tell
No
when
bruises?
I'm stressed when I'm doing it because I usually tap really hard.
Also,
aggressively.
Mexican all these bruises on her body. From
He's got bruises. Okay.
Not quite, but
Yeah.
there are times that I'm like, okay, I don't need to be going that fast. Slow down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
Well, Becky, you had also mentioned earlier, sometimes you're just kind of, you're not even totally aware that you're kind of being drained, so to speak. And sometimes you do leave a conversation and you kind of feel that drain, right? For me, the most impactful thing for me to do is to ground, is literally to put your feet on the bare ground and just let that energy get sucked right out of me. I don't, I don't mean to be all woo woo, and I'm not that type. But the more I open myself up to these things, if you would have told me that, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I would have told you that you were loony bin, right? But I said, well, shoot, I might as well try it. And for me, it works amazing. In fact, it's been such an amazing experience for our energy that Kylene and I got grounding mats. I'm actually standing on one right now.
I've wanted the grounding sheets, but I hadn't gotten there yet.
I saw those on Amazon.
Yeah.
I would like them.
These little mats were $20 on Amazon. It plugs into the ground of your outlet, and I feel great. I don't know, so does it work? I can't tell you scientifically that it does, but mentally it certainly does for me. So,
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Chandler's got a comment there that we should get. Yeah.
Yep, I grabbed it. She says, before I knew Aaron, though, I would take a walk, listen to music that made me happy, breathe, and then count to 10. So
You got to see the comment before that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and yes. And then she says she would call Aaron. No joke.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. You got to know the people that are going to lift you up. And that's and lean into those relationships as much as you can. It's
And
hard to ask for help, but
yeah, it is. I did see something the other day that talked about taking 5 minutes, something bad happened or the negative, whatever, take 5 minutes, allow it to just be, swear, yell, cry, do whatever, 5 minutes. And when the 5 minutes is over, then you're done. Switch the gears. You've let it out. Now what can you do about it?
yep.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just kind of like crying in a way. It's your body's way of releasing whatever energy out.
Yep.
So that is, I like that.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Becky. All right, Julie says, hey, I wanted to pop in and say hi. I got to run because one of our kids showed up to surprise us. 3-hour drive, and we're going to dinner. Awesome. Enjoy your dinner.
Yes.
Chandler says, today I realized the decision I made really wasn't a bad thing. So there you go. Awesome, Chandler. High five on that. And Barb says, never heard of a grounding mat. Googled it. Yeah, check it out. Again, I can't tell you that scientifically it's proven. I'm sure everybody says it's a...
Are you barefoot or?
I am barefoot. Yeah.
Because I think that's the only way it truly works, right?
Probably, but I can't go barefoot during the day. So
it's cold.
Well, just that you guys have heard me say this before. When I get ready to go to work, out
Oh,
to my
yeah.
office, I
Well,
get dressed to my shoes. Because if I don't put my shoes on, because today I didn't put my like tennis shoes on that I usually wear to work. I put on my dudes because I left the house to go to an appointment and come back, and I didn't want to put my tennis shoes on. I never got into my tennis shoes. I don't feel like I was as productive today as I am when
okay,
I'm in my tennis shoes because
that.
that's the signal to my brain that says you're
perfect.
going to work.
Absolutely.
So
So Becky, with these, so the interesting part about this grounding mat is Kylie and I actually watched a documentary the other night about grounding, and the guy who was kind of the pioneer of really kind of rethinking this whole idea, um, he was actually in the cable industry, and this all came from the electrical side of things. Like when you have a cable signal that's not grounded, it's not good. It's interfered
right.
with. It's out of whack, right? And and I know they use grounding mats and then grounding bracelets in like when you're building computers and stuff like that, where you have the electrical, the static electricity, and so with our grounding mats came a little wrist thing that you can wear
Hmm.
instead. So um, maybe that's an opportunity. But honestly, if as the as it warms up here, if you're ever just feeling really stressed and overwhelmed, and maybe got some negativity inside of you there, maybe just slip off the shoes real quick and run outside for a moment. I
Yep.
think for me, just putting my feet in the ground for 30 seconds to a minute to a couple minutes is really refreshing. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool. All right, what else do we got here? Chandler says, "Oh my God, same Becky." So there you go. When I work from home, that is absolutely okay. All right. Well, um, I think so. Yeah, we're kind of coming to a point. We've got to kind of wrap this up here a little bit. So, as I said, tomorrow there will be. I scheduled it for tomorrow. There'll be a post where if you get in and take the action on that post, I will send you a copy. I made a PDF of these 10 things, and on the PDF, it also has then. I called them breakthroughs, but basically here's a step that you could take to overcome the negativity, the keeping you in your comfort zone, the attacking your identity, the keeping you overthinking, whatever one shows up for you. And so if you take the action on that post in Entrepreneur Success Hub tomorrow, I will send you the PDF there that you can have and print out and use, and hopefully it's a valuable tool for you. So sound like
Yeah.
a good idea?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like a great tool for a good reminder.
Yep. I was just trying to find, oh, there it is. Okay. So if you're not part of the group already, just head over to osg.link/group and check that out. And get in there. If you are part of the group already, get over there, check out all those posts and comment on anything that feels right for you. And the more you engage, the better your thought process, the more solutions you're going to come up with is basically the point there. And then, Becky, one last thing. Yes, please, in bold. Chandler says, okay. So we are in the stretch here, you guys. If you're thinking about summative success, this is your week, right? It needs to happen this week. So by this time next week, we'll know whether SOS is happening or not. But if you are on the fence at all, if you haven't reached out to Kylene, Becky, myself, Chandler, whoever, somebody, and say, hey, I'm interested, I'm just not sure. You need to do that like tonight, tomorrow, or soon. So if you're not sure what summative success is, I will pull up the link here. But if you'll go to osg.link/SOS, we've talked about it many times here on Rising Tide Talks, but it is the thing that you need if you want to overcome overwhelm and make 2025 your best year yet. You're going to get all sorts of opportunities, not only to build a business that you love, right? That's the part that I'm bringing to the table. But honestly, the stuff that Kylene and Becky are bringing to the table is going to be the real game changer for you. So, do you guys want to explain your parts of it, so to speak. There's parts, I guess. I didn't have a better way to explain that. So, Kylene, would you tell us a little
Sure.
bit about what you
Yeah.
expect to be sharing at Summit of Success?
So, definitely sharing the wellness side of things with some meditations, gentle yoga, some other types of just overall mindset to get us in the right headspace as we move into some of these learning opportunities, and just allowing ourselves to be open and connecting with others is creates transformation.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, and Kylene, if anybody's out there and like, oh, yoga, I'm out, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
It's not what
like,
you think.
yeah,
It's
Kylene is
for
so,
everyone.
yeah, Kylene is so amazing at meeting people where you're at. So it's really just about the movement and getting your mindset right.
Yeah.
And I know we're kind of going, okay, is this a business retreat or is this a wellness retreat? It's both, because you need both to have a successful business,
Absolutely.
right? So
Yeah.
now here's the real gravy. Here's the real exciting part. Becky and her superpowers at work. So what are some of the things that are kind of maybe on the plate, or kind of some thoughts of the pampering that they can expect?
I'm going to bring the village to take care of you. So
I've
Oh, I like
heard
that.
about that.
I have a gal in the background that is able to do color profiling and has even offered us a master class, a style master class that I got a very shortened version of it when I worked with her. And she's amazing that way. And then I'm working on a massage therapist that would come and do some massages when you arrive, so that, we can all let
Feel
go
great.
of the travel, let go of all of it,
Yeah.
and definitely work with Kylene into changing into the mindset that we need. I'm also working on games.
Mhm.
That may sound kind of weird, but from everything I'm learning, when we work on something that's very creative, our brain somewhat shuts off, but yet that subconscious is working overtime.
Yep.
So after we've listened to Aaron and had our opportunities to start working on growing and resetting and refocusing, we're going to work on some different games in some different capacities that will get your brain, the other side of your brain working, the creative side,
Yep.
which when we come back together, then you'll find out that you really have some answers that you were looking for.
Mhm.
And then there's just going to be time to network and enjoy. I don't know. That's the part I guess I'm looking forward to. I can just see us kind of sitting around and networking and talking and exploring everybody's business in a very relaxed atmosphere, and have all that help and
Yep.
connections and everything that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And uh, I'm just blown away thinking about the fact that as small business owners, right, we have so many things that we have to do each day, right? The things we feel like we need to take care of and all the decisions we have to make. And this is an opportunity to get 3 days and 2 nights where you don't have to make any decisions. You show up, you think about your business, you get creative. I love the idea about the games. I was at a retreat earlier in the year, and one of the most impactful moments was what we learned about ourselves and about our businesses as we were putting together a puzzle as a group in a competition. Right? It was super cool, and so just things like that, and having that opportunity to have everything taken care of, food, lodging, right? You are worried about getting from the airport, let us know, we'll figure it out, right? Like
Yep.
there's nothing that should be holding you back except for you. Right? So if you're going to make that decision to invest in yourself, boom, do it. If you're going to keep stuck where you're at, totally understand. Everybody's got to be where they're at, but we want to make sure that you guys know about this opportunity, and you take advantage of this opportunity while it's available to you. So April 10th through the 12th. And I still am struggling pronouncing the name of the lodge, but it's beautiful.
Coteau de Prairie.
Coteau de Prairie. See, I've overthought it. I've overthought it already. So, so anyhow, I'm very excited about it, you guys, as you can tell, and I know Becky and Kylene are as well. And as Chandler says, it's not just a seminar of speakers. This is an investment where we are the speakers to each other. We get to learn if we want to listen, and absolutely. So there's going to be obviously guidance and structure. That was the whole purpose of the book, The Fundamentals of Business Success, and we're going to dig deeply into that. But it really is just that, right? It's an opportunity to build a network together of people that will be your best friends forever. So,
Yep.
And I think even from Fun Live, I think some of the most growing and learning came in small groups and networking and the breakouts. And not that what Aaron was teaching us and
Yeah.
instructing us with was not important and amazing information and exactly what we needed. It was just that sometimes you're taking that all in and then you're taking your breakout times to then really process it and put it against your own business, because that's the best part about Aaron's book is they're the fundamentals. They're there to guide you and help you in everybody's business. It works for everybody's business, no matter which kind of business you have.
Yeah.
They're going to work because it's your business and they're going to work for you.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. Well said.
And that's, I love that you mentioned that, because honestly, the things that I was teaching have zero value until you start implementing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can talk until I'm blue in the face, but if you're not going to be able to implement that, and that's exactly what you do in those breakout sessions, in these opportunities. And that's why I think we were so excited to, I'll be honest, we're upgrading Fundamentals Live is what it feels like to me. So, huge
Yes.
value that people got from Fundamentals Live. So come take advantage of the upgraded version here, Summit of Success.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, so I think we covered all that. Anything else that we missed here tonight, you guys?
I don't think so.
So,
Okay. Well, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate everybody tuning in and all the comments and sharing, and looking forward to talking to you guys again next Wednesday, hopefully with the big excitement around Summit of Success coming in April.
woohoo.
All right. We'll talk to everybody next week.
Have a great week.
Bye.